Okay, so
Oh, also for the video, this is Liz speaking.
okay. So
What other problems that are identified when fixed help student lives? Do I dive into you guys have anything that like really stands out?
So this David speaking, and I think one huge problem is the caf. I think the food is really bad. I think you could improve that like super easy in doing like, I don't know, putting more vegetables in, and I don't know, just improving the overall cooking process, because the chicken, for example, is sometimes raw. I think that would improve a lot.
I know I've definitely heard of a lot of people getting sick and from the calf.
yeah, definitely food poisoning. So what would you call your thing that you want to discuss?
Giving attention to the arts programs. Actually,
Okay.
fine art programs. Sorry.
Internship, fine art programs. Okay.
Is there anything that stands out to you?
I'm thinking.
I think also you can improve maybe the housing. I think Moreland, for example, is getting like super old, and it's not good. I lived there last year, and it was so bad.
I know, and I haven't lived on campus, but I know in MacDonald Hall there's a really, really bad problem with black mold. I know someone personally who last semester had to have an AC unit taken out because it was completely just full of black mold. They were sick all semester, and I know that's a really common issue. So housing is definitely something to focus on.
I feel like another main problem, this is Gavin speaking, but another main problem is, I want to add on, is the cap. I feel like the hours are a little too short, because yesterday I had practice and then I had to like work right after, and I couldn't even eat dinner. So I feel like we need to like up those hours a little bit, maybe to like 4 hours or 3.5, if that's the case, not just 2 hours in total.
Right.
So
I think you maybe can even put the caf like a little bit longer, like to 8 or something, because if you eat at 6 or at 7, I mean at 7 the club's already close to closing, and then you get hungry again at 10, 10:30, and you can't eat anything because everything is closed.
Especially on a campus that thrives on student athletes and that's like how they run. They recruit student athletes. Those practices run late, and generally it's just unreasonable to expect every single student in a busy campus to be able to eat in such a short period of time. And that's probably what leads to the food being cooked so fast and underdone, is the fact that they're just trying to rush everything in and out.
yeah.
Also, I think maybe there should be more shuttles to Walmart and I don't know, to the center of Marshall, because I don't pay cafeteria and I need to go to Walmart walking like 2 or 3 times per week. So more shuttles should be good.
¿Cómo te llamas?
Norberto.
¿Por el teléfono?
Norberto.
When there isn't necessarily
I guess I'll start off as, well, I'm the secretary right now, so I'm doing those. So someone has to start as the chair.
so long as you're not.
I feel like another main problem is the community restrooms, whether it's in like class buildings or even if it's in like the dorm. I feel like the rooms the bathrooms are like still really messy, even like after supposedly they clean it. It's still like really bad and really trashy. So I feel like we need to do something about the restrooms. Because sometimes I don't even like want to go use the restroom. Sometimes I walk all the way to Malcolm because the Moreland restroom is just disgusting. So
And the problem is also like the weekends, because on the weekends they don't clean anything, they don't put paper on anything, and the paper on Sunday,
Yeah.
you don't have any paper and nothing.
yeah.
Odd looking, or just, you can tell that it's not.
The this is a smaller thing, but I feel like they put a lot of effort into random events that don't actually really make sense for the interest of the student body. There's a bunch of random things that have like, they'll just bring in random people or like random nights, and like most of the people I know, some of them are gonna be like, oh sure, but most people are like, why would I waste my time doing that? So I just feel like if they had more, I don't know, reasonable things, people would actually want to be involved.
More reasonable event.
Yes.
Event?
For instance, I don't even order sport, and if it's up there, I'm not touching it. There's other people more
Also, this is a recent thing. I feel like this is a campus that like really like prides themselves on the international students and like bringing people from all over. Yet over the past 2 years, they have continuously erased that fact physically on campus. Like there used to be a bunch of flags listed down the road on all the light posts of all the different countries represented by the students. There was a huge mural, and now it's just covered by like an American flag. And I feel like they are still trying to run under that same principle of, oh, we're accepting for everybody, but also trying to reframe the actual physical image of the campus to not reflect that. And I feel like that's frustrating.
Okay.
Don't show up to sporting games unless there's like something driving it, like the raffles or
Also, one more thing. I think that the administration as a whole could really stand to have better communication with both the staff and the students, because I know from speaking with a lot of staff, they don't really know what's going on a lot of the times. They're not told anything, and the students certainly aren't. And so a lot of times people are just kind of like left in the dark with what's going on with different majors, different programs, different classes, and it's just really frustrating to figure out anything out on campus sometimes.
So there's 3 urinals
I think it's put
upstairs, and
together
there's 3 urinals on the second floor, but on both the second and the third
Okay.
floor, there's
I think that
urinal
is a decent amount of determining problems. So the next step is to establish what criteria you need for a solution to resolve the problems.
It's just wall. It's like a wall. Like 2 urinals.
So are we meant to
Yeah.
basically find the solution now or after?
Could you explain a little bit further what it means by criteria? Like what type?
What is needed? Like what pieces need to be in place to solve the problem? It's not necessarily just we do this and it magically solves the problem. Like, how do we know that this would actually like solve the problem?
So we need to figure out a solution.
Like actual building blocks instead of just a little
we need
issue.
to understand the root causes of why some of these things might be happening.
That makes sense. So rather than, oh, well, administration needs to do this, it's the administration needs to be looked at as a whole. It needs to be more open as a whole rather than like the specific action, because that's going to cause more things.
Gotta go specifics.
Yeah, okay.
That's why I'm like detail
Well,
analysis.
I mean, they eyed, but like, it's still, because the
So-
shower that you can tell. these
Also,
girls were-
last question, at which point should the leadership role switch over, before or after this step?
Not
Kind of the middle of
Yeah, like
Okay.
the shower head should not be.
So for the criteria, should we go ahead and go through like the list of problems we created and think of like some of the the root causes of a lot of it?
Yeah. So the first problem that we talked about is the CAF food when it comes to getting better food. We can up the CAF hours. So student athletes can have some time to eat.
Right.
The second one is giving attention to the fine art programs. The third one is housing can be better and be upgraded by the present date.
the problems. Have you fully explored the problems? Have you given the evidence in terms of why, like, of what these problems are?
So writing down like specifically the negative impact they cause.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Dig deeper into the problems.
Okay, so let's go one by one. The first one is
Okay, one
the
by
CAF, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the cafeteria, like we've said, is causing food poisoning. They often are serving undercooked food, and the limited hours leave students scrambling to be able to eat food that really is going to cause them to be sick anyways.
Yeah, and I mean, like a lot of students are athletes, and the way the food is, they are not getting enough nutrition. They will perform less good, and they will perform very bad.
Maybe. What?
¿Dónde eres?
Alemania, so medio español.
Oh, okay. Undercooked food and serving them, what? Not enough what'd you say?
Nutrition.
Nutrition?
Nutrition is really bad. I mean, in the end, it's bad for the college because the teams are going to lose a lot because of that.
And we are in a location where other food options really aren't an option for a lot of people. This is what a lot of students just completely rely on, so the fact that it's making them sick, and their only option sometimes, it's not okay.
Also, I think that there are no enough condiments like pepper
Or salt.
and salt. I mean, there are only like 5 in all the cafeteria.
And they are even often empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Right. That's like the other person he was talking about.
Is there anything else, or is that it?
I think that's good for the CAF. For the Fine Arts program, specifically, I would just say a lot of students are left in the dark and don't know the future of their degrees because the school does not communicate it at all and does not give any sort of support to the programs. Also, the support of the school is scrambling to find classes, and a lot of the times for the art students, the only options are random online classes that really don't teach you anything.
So, we're gonna be saying,
We're going to be saying that
like what, like then, like,
I just think overall just students are being left in the dark and don't know the future of their degree or program. And it seems that the school doesn't know either.
The school doesn't know.
Of the future of our programs. That's why they don't want to tell us, because they don't know either.
I mean, they have at least one saying about it.
Right. It's like, oh, here, you can take a stagecraft class online in the summer. That's going to help me a lot to learn how to build online. Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah, I'm curious.
is there another one,
I think that's good for that point.
or? Next one is housing. How exactly can we up housing, whether it's on or off campus? I feel like we can make, like, it doesn't have to be outside, but I feel like in the inside we can make buildings like more up to date. I feel like specifically like in Orland, which is where I live, I feel like that building is like a little too outdated. It's a little too old and broken.
And that's like the reason it's such a problem is because it is genuinely just not up to standards to house people. They clearly, with the struggle at the beginning of this school year with like converting a bunch of random buildings, like they took one of the theaters and converted it into dorms, and then they like made too many of one dorms and other people had to stay at like off campus, and they just don't know what they're doing with housing, so it's not up to standards.
I think the problem with that is also that they take like a lot of new students. And I think at the beginning of the semester, some even had to go to the hotels and stay there for some nights because they just take too many students for the college. And they don't have enough housing. So.
And I know like for like I can't remember what the issue was. I know I think they made either like too many girl dorms and there's too many boy students, or too many boy dorms and there too many girl students.
There were even like boys, I think, in MEC too. So.
next one is how can we fix more shuttles, like around campus, like to make it more like where it's flexible for our student athlete hours.
I mean, that's pretty easy, no? We just need more shuttles
More shuttles.
at more times.
Yeah, because a lot of people end up being left stranded on campus or can't make it to campus, so there's just not nearly enough for the location campus is in because it's not close to any stores.
And also like the shuttle on Tuesdays, maybe don't put it at 6 to 8 because from 6 to 7:30 a lot of people will go to the caf and they just can't take that shuttle. So
Yeah, it's ridiculous to try to make the students choose, hey, do you want to get dinner today or do you want to be able to get food for the next couple meals?
What were the hours you said?
I think 6 to 8.
6 to 8.
It's the shuttle on Tuesdays.
Oh, is that how it is? Cause it's only 4 days. I know, like, fuels and fuel, takes 2 fuel.
I feel like the shuttle time could stay the same if we put more hours on the cap too. If we had more hours, I feel like it would stay the same.
I mean, it's not necessarily that you need more hours in the caf, but just like put them later. Because I think nobody's going to the caf at 4:30
Yeah.
to eat dinner, you know. And,
I think something to know again with the CAF is going back to that. They spent so much money on this program, like a ridiculous amount of money for this food that they are serving, and they changed it because there were so many complaints about the old CAF. So they're like, "Oh, guys, fixed it." It's like, okay, the old CAF had moldy food, and this one has underdone, like food poisoned food. And if it's such a widely held opinion of both students and teachers, and just widely known how terrible it is, they should really reconsidering how they're spending their money.
yeah, I think it's also a problem that you can't cancel your meal plan. If you're on campus, they force you to pay it. I think that should not be possible. Too.
Right. Because you have to put so much money towards something that's, for a lot of people, inedible, if especially. Also, not to mention the fact that with so many international students, different countries have different cuisines and different qualities of food, so whenever it's like the absolute worst quality of the food, with not enough options, not enough cooking, that is going to mess with so many people's digestion and just so many people's systems, and it's messed up. I just think overall that the fact that housing and food that are being paid for by the students should at the very least be livable and not toxic conditions, and neither one of those are true.
Yeah.
And I wonder why no one likes to stay to graduate.
Okay, the next one that we talked about is restrooms. Community restrooms, dorm restrooms. How can we make those? Like, what is the negative?
The negative is they are unsanitary and are so broken down and unkept up that they are unusable, which is probably a health violation.
And I think they also lack like a lot of privacy because like the toilets and stuff, they always have like you can't see through them. They have the small,
Yeah,
I don't know how you call them.
the cracks.
Yeah, the cracks in the door and everything, so you can see everything.
Okay. So we have unsanitary, broken down, not enough privacy.
I think the solution is actually just putting budget towards actually renovating the bathrooms to a point that they can be more easily upkept. Because of how old they are, it's gonna get dirty a lot faster.
I feel like we also need better cleaners,
Yeah.
or like we need something on the weekend because like during the first semester, I would really have to use the restroom, and there would be no toilet paper anywhere. I'd have to knock on my friends' dorms and like, oh, can I borrow some toilet paper? Just go use the restroom for the weekend. So I feel like we also need like somebody on the weekend. And another thing I want to put is water bottle refill stations. I have to walk all the way to Malcolm to refill my water bottle just because like I want to get water. I feel like we should put one in at least every dorm because I know the girls' dorm, Mac, I think it's or something like that. They have one in the laundry room. So I think that guys should have one too.
Agreed.
So.
Absolutely, because Marshall's tap water is not great. I do not trust Missouri Valley's plumbing system to produce water that is clean to drink.
Yeah.
And it's, again, that's just one of the basic things of human life that students should have access to, right? Clean water.
Yeah, no baseball field, no softball field.
We're about halfway through the list. So do you guys want to switch over the roles?
I don't know exactly what that does, but I can keep taking notes if you guys.
I'm chair.
Yeah, so you can be the chair now and like continue leading it. And then at some point the secretary needs to switch over so everybody has a chance to be a leader.
And what's like the role of chair?
So basically what I've been doing with basically, even if you don't necessarily know the answer to it, asking everybody what they think on each step or just announcing what the next thing is.
Okay.
Leagues in the Burns, yeah, there's leagues in the Burns.
Should I then just do the solutions at the end as secretary?
Yeah.
I can just write down the solutions.
You said one more about the restrooms.
Leagues are mainly on the track.
I have restrooms are unsanitary, broken down, not enough privacy. Putting some work on the weekends so we can have toilet paper. And then you said one more.
You said the thing
Money,
with the
funding.
water.
I'm sorry.
You said the thing with the water, like one water. I know that was housing.
Oh yeah, the water refill stations.
Yeah.
Okay. But that wouldn't.
Practice space.
I don't think that would be in the restroom selection. I'll just put another thing. So the next one is the reasonable events. Like what's the negative effect that these events have already? What's the point?
I feel like they don't necessarily have a negative effect, but they are just there and they have the potential to be much more positive. I feel like they don't really look into what the student body actually wants to do or what would be effective for the students and the age range of the people that are there. So if they were to just, I don't know, talk to students, try out different things that are a little bit more applicable for people,
Volleyball player.
it could actually encourage more interaction from students as opposed to just really, really, really random.
I remember we had an event where we all had to make like a V picture on the field. We had the event after that where there was like cornhole and spike ball. You would like eat. It was like there was like fried chicken, watermelon, and stuff. I feel like that event was actually relevant compared to like all the other ones that
Right.
just don't really have a meaning.
Why do we need both a magician and a hypnotist in one semester?
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, that makes sense because that's something that's like. Wait, what? Right, I'm like, I understand there's a magician here tonight. You don't need to keep reminding me. If it was really that magic, I'd be there.
The next one is the students need better communications. Oh no, the teachers need better communications. The teachers/counselors need better communications to the students because the students usually get left behind or left in the dark.
I would specifically mention from the administration because I feel like it's a lot of the overheads and people who actually have information that keep it from everybody else who can actually provide it for the students. Right. It's like they know it, but teachers have no idea what's going on, students have no idea what's going on. Can I go which quite frankly makes it a lot harder to plan a future.
Very fast paced.
Whenever it's like, I don't even know if my major is going to exist next semester, you guys begged me to stay because, oh, we're fixing it. Nothing's been done.
Fixing fires, fire
I
What
would-
majors will be good?
And their solution was hiring 2 different professors who weren't actually ever going to come to campus because they had full-time day jobs, and they could just consult from a distance. But they didn't do that. They just kind of existed. It's a fun time.
What they can provide.
Oh. It's a fun time.
The students have no idea what's going on.
I were a student and I was a
Well, and the frustrating part is, it was only a minor. The year before, they switched it to make it a major. They only just remade it a major again after getting rid of it a while ago. Just made it a brand new thing, then did not renew the teacher and haven't been able to find a replacement
Like the very.
and have not been able to start anything. And then it's very
I
frustrating.
got a bunch of zeros, but I didn't even know I had assignments, so I kept finding mine. And
I understand that sometimes it's out of their control,
But they don't.
it's just upsetting when it's been this long.
Assignment things.
Is there anything else we want to talk about for students in communication with the administration?
I feel like that just about covers. Administration needs to actually talk to people and let them know what's going on.
Actually, this class.
Okay. And then the last one is the water refill stations.
Yeah. So that.
Did you go to this?
Yeah, I didn't even.
No.
know.
God.
Where'd you go?
City College. Similar size, about 3 hours. Here.
I feel like with the water bottle thing, it is just,
So,
it's the basic thing that students should have access to clean, safe drinking water.
when I was there, I can't speak to how it is now.
I know football, I'm pretty sure they have men.
And they shouldn't have to travel across campus to have access to something like that.
I think there should be one in each building because Malcolm, that most of the students go to Malcolm to refill their water. Malcolm closes at 11, so if you have if you want water after 11, you don't have where to refill your bottle.
Well, Malcolm closes a las 10 and the biblioteca closes a las 11. So, and then in the library they also have a water refill station. So, I still after 11 I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Clean drinking water. Need to put.
I know that in the majority of the men's dorm, there's no water fountains.
Okay, so what's the next step? We have all the problems and then the negative impacts.
I know others.
Okay.
I think now we need to find the solutions.
So now we have to talk about the solutions.
My mom, like, I heard me say that I was drinking out the faucet, she probably smacked the hell out of me. So,
Are we trying to find specific solutions for each of the problems or a specific solution that could impact them as a whole?
but I found myself sometimes needing water.
So ideally, pick one thing that you're gonna focus on.
Okay.
My water,
And then
like my hydrochloric in order to comprehend, but sometimes it's not very
Okay. I think we should go with the cap because that is the one that easily has the most evidence behind it. It easily has the most drive and student passion, and I think that could have the most overall effect. So that's something to focus on.
So out of all the problems we're choosing, like out of all the problems we just made, we're gonna choose the cap.
If you guys agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay. So
So,
now establish what criteria you need for a solution to resolve the problem. That's what we have to focus on.
so the criteria for that one was that it's making students sick and they do not provide enough range of food or availability for students to accurately, that's not the right word. Students to be able to easily access the resources.
We're saying the variety of food is too small or too,
Let's say you're in class for example.
like not enough variety, is what you're saying?
And with each step, there's no.
It's a better way to wording, I think.
So that just interrupts your class.
There is a lack of nutrition that is the nutrition within the options. So as a whole, the options need to be broadened. So I think the overall solution.
I mean, what they should definitely change, I think it's fresh ideas, no? Like the company running it. I don't know if they would find another company who can do it better.
Yeah,
think-
because with the amount of money they're paying them, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I think every student is paying around 6K per year.
The school paid them, I think 1.5 million
That's way too much.
for the school year. I don't know if that's true. That's just a number that's ringing in my head. I think I heard, but I do think it was over $1 million. And so I think
It is trash.
the school
You could just honestly Google Classroom.
actually looking into the food programs they are doing and investing in a new company could vastly improve the lives of students on campus.
It seems like it's for.
Okay, so the criteria made up is that the food they serve is undercooked, the hours are a little too short, they don't have enough condiments, there's a lack of nutrition, so as a whole the options need to be opened up. A lot of students are getting food poison because the food is very bad when it comes for its time ready to be served. Is there anything else? Okay.
And he's just by book, he's old school.
And so the overall solution, again, I think is we need to change the company because the company has clearly not cared about any of the feedback.
And they need to, I mean, if they reinvest 1.5 million, they need to find ways to like invest it more effectively.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it really just seems like a waste whenever all of your students are starving. Which I don't remember, I think it was you who mentioned it. When it's athletes who are in the primary student body of your college, whenever the base proteins that are served are undercooked or will make you sick, they're not going to be as high performing as you want the athletes to be. Like, you have to actually provide the resources to get the results you want.
Okay, so we have the solution is change the company because the company does not care about the overall feedback that the students give them. What did you say?
I said you should invest the money more effectively because the students are paying a lot, and they can easily get better food for the money that we're paying.
Okay. Is that all we had to do for that section, or? 'Cause I know we have one more section. The selection of specific solution. The selection of a specific solution. I don't know.
Can I still add one more negative point about the CAF? Is that most of the times there are not enough forks and
especially knives.
Yeah,
Yeah,
knives.
never
So
knives.
utensils as a whole.
Yeah.
I guess so. I mean, we went through everything we had, and we asked for it, but now we just start fresh.
I'm lucky enough to live off campus, and so I haven't had to eat at a caf since I've been here. I ate there in high school when we had like a visit to the campus. I'm from Marshall, and it has just gotten worse and worse and
We
worse
all agree that renovating
from what I have seen.
dorms,
They also don't have they don't have enough cups.
like that's all.
Yeah.
Like every time I walk in there, like it's like I walk in like 30 minutes after they open, and like the little section right there that you walk in still like it doesn't even have any cups anymore, so I have to walk all the way to the other side, and then I have to wait if they still don't have any. And then another one is like half the time their machines don't work, like their lemonade is watered down. I love apple juice, and that they don't even have that here anymore. So it's like
Again, and then that's just like small things that you will find in the majority of college campus cafeterias. Like it's literally you're requiring your students to pay for this. Those are generally just basic options, and it is sad to see what they provide the students and what they think is okay.
I ain't worried about it. I don't worry about it.
They don't do pretty good.
I think so. What time did we get out? 11:50 or no 12:05?
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what we're supposed to do now. The selection of a specific solution. I don't know what that means.
I'll ask. What did you-
And actually, like,
We feel pretty confident in our solution. Is there a next step we should take?
The last section that you said, the selection of a specific solution on the instructions. What exactly is that?
So, this is where you build out that comprehensive solution for that.
Yeah. We have figured out, we chose the CAF, and so the solution we went with was just the school having to reinvest in a new company because the company has so far been not up to standards and not willing to hear the feedback, so that could be that would change the problem at its root and give a new start.
Does the same CAF company run the same little stores, like the pharmacy right underneath us? Like where you self-checkout? Oh, okay, never mind.
yeah, it is.
Okay.
It was like 4 years ago. Same with the Malcolm. Malcolm, that building.
Okay.
I mean,
I think that's the thing. Generally speaking, like they should also, they're also technically, it's the same company, and be the one.
Yeah, because when I left here, I don't even,
Okay.
before graduation, it wasn't even like deep. Maybe a foundation.
Okay, so our solution to all of this is change the company because the company does not care about the overall feedback that the students or I put administration because I mean that's like the head of us. Administration give them, and then I also put use money more effectively because we're paying millions of dollars and the food is still very terrible
Very terrible and unsafe.
and unsafe.
Or
I think
hazardous.
I think unsanitary.
Unsanitary.
Yeah.
That is the right
You
word.
are now satisfied with your
I said it's-
expansions of things. Then you can submit that, all you need to submit it. All you need to submit it. I want to have all of that, and then you will write your reflection. Recognize that if you declared yourself done this time around, and it is still not up to standard, you will get the grades, I'm not gonna go back and give you another.
So we're finished, or?
So
So if you are
I'm pretty confident because I think, especially after talking at the beginning of the class, I think we had a pretty comprehensive list. I think we went through and thought of some decent solutions and decent criteria, and I think
Yes.
we did good.
Where are the questions?
The questions are on that, like, assignment, that master assignment. It's at the bottom. So you will have.
I think the last thing we have to do is write a reflection.
Goals of it and all that.
I believe I heard that, and then that should be it. I don't know if we have to do anything with the video.
I think we have to upload it to
I just
YouTube.
put those
Yeah,
there 'cause I thought
um,
maybe that would make it easier to find.
Okay, let's repeat our names to give the voice. This voice is Liz.
This voice is Gavin.
This voice is Norberto.
This is David.
For the reflective, do we need to still keep recording, or is that it?
For your own reflections, that's each of your own.
So we don't need the recording after that. That's it. Okay.
The
Perfect.
recording now should be submitted by all of you,
Okay.
as well as the comprehensive notes we're putting together.
And on YouTube, just one uploads it, right?
One upload, and then you all give me one.
Okay.
Okay.